Welcome to this week's session with the Putnam County District Library, the Guiding Ohio Online Grant. This week I'm going to show you a few Gmail tips. We've looked at Gmail before, and I just would like to go over a few of the highlights and what maybe stands out to help you organize and manage your Gmail account. So I've got my account pulled up here. Notice I've got my 9 dots that we always talk about. I click on that and my options come up. I'm going down here to Gmail. And when I open up my Gmail, what I would like for you to notice is you have several things across the top. You have what is referred to as your primary. That is the mail that is showing here. If I click here on social, that's going to pop up what Google views as social emails. And then when I click on promotions, it brings up what is viewed as promotional emails that I would be receiving. I'm going to go back here to primary, and then I want to make note of down the side, I have these icons. Notice when I scroll over, the actual wording comes up. And then when I go over here and I go on an individual email, I've got icons that pop up here on the side. So I just like to touch base with a couple of these. If I notice I have here what is an email that is starred. And by having an email that is starred, that just makes it stand out. It also means that if I were to click up here on my starred, that is the email that would pop up. So I can easily star emails by simply clicking at the front here, and anything that I click on will then become a starred email. So if I clicked on this, as well as possibly this one, then I go back to starred, now I would have 3 emails. So in other words, anything that's very important that I might want to keep and have stand out, I would put a star in front of. The other icon here is we have what is this clock. And for me, the easier way to use the clock what it means is you're snoozing an email. So in other words, hey, this is an important email. I don't have time to deal with it right now. I would like to maybe say I'm going to click down here on this Zulu one. I've clicked on this email, and it's like, okay, I don't really have time to pay attention to it. I'm going to go back here to my inbox, and I'm going to go out here, and I'm going to say, you know what? I don't have time the minute, so I'm going to snooze it. And I can then say, you know what, snooze this until, say, tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. when I'd first be at work, and I could click on that. And so that goes into the snooze. And then what will happen is that email will pop up as a new email tomorrow for me. Then the other icon out here to the side is kind of the same thing. We can mark an email as, okay, yep, this has been read. Notice now it's changed from bold to lighter. That means I've already looked at that. And then the other icon I have here is obviously to trash. So I can just delete, say this is not of importance to me, so I'm just going to simply delete it. And then I have where I can archive it and save it for later because it's important to me. On the side over here then, same thing, we can click here, and anything that I have sent, say I know I've sent an email to someone, I want to go back and maybe look again at what was said, I would simply click on send, and any message I sent would appear here. Obviously, I have no messages that I have sent out of this account, so it's blank. Again, right here at the top is my inbox, so I'm always going back here to my inbox. And then the same thing, I have drafts. So anything that is a draft would appear here. I'm going to go back to my inbox one more time. And then these are like a tab with the DD. And so what you can do is you can actually color code and label your emails, as well as you can color code an email if you put notes in as well. And then I can do the same thing with anything that's important. I would have that marked as well in here. And then I can also, and probably what is the most handy is I'm going to skip down here to spam. And if I continue to get email that is spam, I can put things into my spam account, and then hopefully that will stop that message from continuing to come to me. And then what I had done up here is I clicked on the plus sign to go to compose, and this is where I would simply go to send an email. Now, when I'm sending an email, I would obviously put something in my to. It's very important that you always put something in your subject line. Most people should know, and you want to be instructed that if you don't have something in the subject line, if you can receive email with something in the subject line, be very hesitant about ever opening that email up. And then out here to the side with the to, the other thing is you can carbon copy this. So if you want to send it to more than one person, but the other one that's kind of important to a lot of people is this BCC, blind carbon copy. So in other words, when you're sending this out to an individual, if you want another person to receive a copy of it, but you don't want the person that you're sending it to know, you can blind carbon copy it to someone else. And then when we're sending an email, down below, we have our formatting options, and probably the one that is the most important that I'm just going to mention tonight is that when we go to attach files, so anytime you're sending an email and you want to send an attachment, it doesn't matter what email program you're using, it always appears like this paperclip. And that's what you're going to see as a paperclip when you send it. And then same thing here if you want to send and say, I'm putting something in here and I want to say my pcdl.org, which is to the library. I can highlight that, go down here, go to insert link, and now it's made this an active link that someone would go to. So that is just a few tips concerning Gmail. I hope you find this information helpful. Next week, we are going to look at one more thing when it comes to Google, and we're going to be looking at how you can color code your in your Drive and create some shortcuts and ways that can maybe help you organize your Google Drive account, along with how we did this week with our Gmail account. Hope everyone has a great week.